equals to into this value. It is getting properly bind with this variable. Okay, old rec. Sorry, I have to define the field also. Old rec dot industry. Okay, old rec dot industry equals to. So this industry value will have some value, right? Which is the older version. So like as we have mentioned, this banking is the older value, right? So I am taking this double equals to because this value will get this banking value will get assigned to this industry, which is the older one. So what I am doing here, simply taking the banking over here. This is banking. Why I am taking banking in this old rec? Because older version value is older field value is banking, correct? So here you can see with the old rec variable, I have defined that. Then and operator, I'll use the and operator. Why? Because this industry's old value is banking, and now new value I'll be defining with this AC variable, right? So I'm defining this A with the AC dot industry equals to chemicals, correct? Then curly braces, then enter, then save this. Now the this is saved. Now I want, as it is getting old record with the banking, and industry is getting changed to chemical. Now some action should get performed, right? Some action should get performed. So our type should be prospect, right? So how I can define now prospect? See, with this a new version only it will be created, right? With the old value it won't create, but with the new, as soon as we are updating that, it should created with the type as an prospect. So what I'm doing over here, simply taking the AC variable dot type. So you will get the suggestions as soon as you define a variable and dot, you will get the suggestion from the background. So what field you want? So you can directly select from here equals to. Now please see guys, if I'm giving double equals to over here, it won't take it. Okay, here you can see AC dot type equals to, and what I want to take the type as an prospect, right? So what I will be doing prospect, it will give me error, semicolon, and I'll try to save this. Here you can see expression cannot be in a statement. If I am simply removing one equals to, it will take it because it is taking as an expression for this statement, right? So it is not possible. Now if I am trying to save, it is getting saved. And here you can see if I am giving single equals to over here, what will happen? Again, here you can see logical operator can only be applied to Boolean, correct? So that's why I am saying that whenever you want to assign some values in this condition, then we have to use this double equals to, save it. Now it will get saved. So we have written this particular trigger. Now let's try to implement this. So save this. And as I told you that if you have written multiple triggers on one particular object, it is a bad practice. But as I have shown you, as I have told you that I have written this 2 times triggers. So what I can do, I can make one trigger as an inactive. So what I have to do for that, simply go to the setup. Okay. Then in the setup here, you can go to the home tab, and in the home tab, go for quick find box and just search for the Apex triggers over here. So here you can see there is an Apex triggers. So just click on that. Correct. So here you can see there is an Apex triggers. Now here you can see whatever the triggers which you have written, it will show over here. Okay. So here you can see email trigger. So we have written for this employee. Now here you can see in the S object, I have written the account object also for the after insert, right? So if I want to make it inactive, simply I'll click on the edit option, edit button over there. Then here you can see there is an is active, right? So I'll make it as an inactive. So for the safe side, and I'm clicking on save. This is the See, this won't affect this, but some triggers are there. If that trigger is written and if that trigger is active, then they might cause some problem while saving that record, right? So for that reason, we should make sure that should make that trigger inactive. Okay, is that clear now? Now let's go and check whether that trigger is working or not. So our condition was that banking to chemical. If we are changing it, then it should get changed with that type. Okay. So as I'm clicking on new button over here, and it is asking for the name. So what I'll be taking as an uh, suppose I'm taking the record name as an Uday. Then I'm taking the parent account as an Prasad. Then account number, I'm giving any random number. Then I'm rating as an hot. Then and no need of writing this all this taking this all values. So our perspective is like to from banking to chemical you should change. So I'm saving this. So first it is the banking. Okay, so if I go to the details, here you can see their industry as in banking and type is still blank over here, right? If I supposed to change this banking to chemicals, what will happen? Let's see. So I'm clicking on chemicals and I'm trying to save this. So before this record gets saved into the database, this type should get reflected with the prospect. So I'm clicking on this save button. Okay. So still that trigger is not working. That means we have to check something. We have changed these chemicals, right? Let me check the trigger once again. If any mistake over there. So save this first. Let's go over here. Chemicals is there, banking is there, old record is there. See trigger dot after insert on account before update. Okay. Then for account AC, trigger dot new. Okay. Then the event is before update only. Okay. Then account old rec equals to trigger dot old map dot get dot ACID if old rec is chemicals, then and industry. Let me do one thing. Control plus X. Let me shift to this. And save this. Okay, now if AC dot industry, let me check the spellings of these chemicals and banking. Industry is banking and chemicals. Okay, that is fine. And AC dot type is prospect. Let me check with the type as a prospect. Okay, now let's save this. Okay, now let's check with this. If I'm saving this and I'm changing this banking to chemicals and I'm saving this. So type here you can see that it is changing to prospect. If you are not sure about that, so let's go to the account once again and we'll create it. So I'll create the record as in Shibam. Then now I'm taking the type as an sorry, I'm not selecting any type. Type is none. Then industry is in banking. Then save this. Okay. So if I'm going to details here, you can see type is blank over here. Now, if I'm changing this banking to chemicals, so I'm defining this banking to chemicals. Okay. Now see type is none, right? So I'm clicking on the save button. So here you can see the type is becoming prospect. So in this way, you can manage this update as well. So what was the thing which I've done over here? Simply, I've replaced this old rec afterwards. After first, I've given the AC industry equals to chemicals. Okay. Then I changed this industry to banking because this was the older version of the record, right? And the AC type was prospect. Is that clear for everyone? Everyone got this point? Why before update? See, we are doing this thing because see, first it was first it was banking, right? So it was already there in the database, right? So again we clicked on the edit button. So now we are changing something, right? So before that record gets saved into that database, that value of the type is getting changed, correct? So that's why we are using this type as a prospect. So that's why we are using the before insert event over here, before update event over here, correct? If suppose we are changing something over here and reflections are happening in some another object, then we can say that we are using the after update event. So we'll see that. Okay, why I'm saying that? See, suppose try to understand, guys. Here the type industry was banking, so type was empty. So that was already there in the database. Now I clicked on the edit option, and what I have done simply change that value to keep banking. Uh, Change the value to chemicals, right? So as I saved, so that was not stored into the database until and unless I'm not clicking on the save button. As soon as I'm clicking on the save button, before that records get saved into that database, the type is changing to prospect. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? Please respond, guys, if you are getting this. If you are not getting, then also reply so that I can explain you. Okay, so I can see yes, lots of yes answers are there. Okay, so now we have completed with this before event. Now what we will do, we'll see the after update event. Okay, why I was talking about the after update event, because it works for the two objects, right? As I told you on the first lecture, only for the apex triggers. So let's go to the object. Let me make this trigger also inactive because I'm writing the trigger to another object as well. So you might be thinking that why we are taking this multiple way. So suppose see, it is not like that. You can use one event only over here. You can directly use the after update event also over here. So if you want to do this, so if you write this after update, if you want to work for this, you can work for this also. So here you can see before update is there and after update is there. So I can write multiple events over here. I can write before insert also. I can write after update also. We can write after insert also. We can write before update also. So whatever the events you can write multiple events over here. Not needed that every time you inactive that and you write it. So here you can see that I have mentioned this, and I can simply start with the new line. So new use case, I can simply write it over here. To understanding purpose, I am taking the new triggers over here. Is that clear? You can directly use this line over here, and you can continue. You simply write that use case which you are working, and after writing that, you can directly use that event and you can mention it. Is that clear for everyone? Okay, I can use simply this variable also and define the fields with that, and I can update also with that particular thing. Okay, is that clear? When we should write the complete apex trigger? See, if you think that the things are becoming complicated by using the flows, then what will happen? Then you have to go for the triggers only, because in the triggers you simply have to write some conditions. You have to define some conditions, and then after defining that conditions, you can implement it easily by doing the code. But when you are doing with the flows, you have to do lots of things over there, and if scenario is big, then you would definitely have to come for uh, this kind of work over here, as they are in the relationship. So with the particular relationship, some action should occur over there. So that's why you will have to come to this trigger event, okay, to write the triggers. Is that clear? Now we'll write one more trigger. apex trigger. So now as it was after insert, so after insert I was using, now I use after update on same object. Okay, after update, so click on submit. So here you can see triggered or trigger after update event we are using. So let me change this to after update. So I'm writing after. Okay, and here I'll be writing update. I'm saving this. Okay, now what I'm doing, now what I'll be doing over here, I have one condition. So what is my condition? If contact object is having, if contact object is associated to account, then it should not be deleted. Is that clear? Is that clear? Or let's take one more scenario. Let's take one scenario over here. Suppose let me explain you the condition over here only, so it will be easy. Suppose there is one particular record as in Burlington, okay, and in the Burlington here you can see there are three records. Okay, now my condition is if suppose I am changing industry banking to chemical, then all these contacts should get deleted. All these contacts which are associated to this particular account should get deleted. See, I'm explaining this once again. If suppose I'm in the details, and what is my condition over here is suppose industry is banking. If suppose industry is banking or apparel anything, if I am taking the condition as in banking, then what should happen? If I'm taking banking and I'm saving this, and then again I'm clicking on the edit button, and what I'm doing, I'm changing to this chemicals. As soon as I'm clicking on this changing that banking to chemical, that associated contacts which are there in the related list, okay, you can see there that should get deleted. This is my condition. Okay, see, that record is getting saved into the database. After that record gets saved into the database, these contacts are getting deleted. And please try to understand, guys, why I'm saying this after. Because as soon as I'm changing these some values over here and I'm clicking on the save button, after that value gets changed and that value gets stored into the database, then some action is getting performed in another object which is getting deleted over here in the account object. Correct? So how we can do that? So let's go to the trigger and let me write the use case first. Okay, as I am giving the comment over here, use case. Okay, so the use case is if industry is change banking to chemicals, then all the associated contact should get deleted. Should get deleted. Is that clear? So contact associated contact should get deleted. So this is our use case for this after update event, right? So first I have written this as an after update event over here, which we have mentioned this after update trigger name. Okay. Now I'll write the trigger code over here. So first I'll create the for loop same as it is, which we have created. Okay. So for loop. So for the loop, as I'm working on the account object, so I'm taking this account, correct? So account, then one variable AC, then colon, then one more variable. So now after that, we'll write the trigger.new, right? So trigger.new, then give the curly braces over here and then save this. Okay. So now we have saved this record, correct? Now what I want to do, I want a one particular variable for the older version also. So how same procedure again, account. I want the older value to be defined with, correct? So how I can define with the older variable. So I'm taking one more as an old rec over here, which is the variable equals to same procedure trigger dot old map dot what was that get brackets. Then how we can take that id ac dot id, correct? Then afterwards semicolon, then save this. Okay, so as we have saved this, so this was the same procedure which was there for the before update event, right? So now we'll define the event of the newer version. So how we can define that condition? So simply writing the if condition, same procedure we'll use over here. So now I'll define this as an AC dot industry, AC dot industry, enter equals to chemicals, right? So double inverted commas, no, single quotes, then chemicals. Then the second value we need to define and AC dot, sorry, not AC dot, old rec, right? So we'll take this as old rec dot industry equals to banking, right? So now we defined this thing, correct? So as we have seen that we are working on this particular same we had done this thing, but this thing was for the before update event, right? So now we want the trigger should get fired after that record is getting saved into an account object, then only some action should get performed. Till here everything is clear, right? Till here everything is correct, right? We have seen one scenario also in the accounts and opportunities, right? We were working on the two objects, correct? So we have defined the opportunity variable also in that trigger, right? So now we have to do same thing as we are as I am told as I've told you that contact should get deleted. That means with the account some context is also working, right? So contact also we need some variable. So for contact also we need some variable, right? So we have to define some variable for the contact also, correct? So what we'll be doing over here, we have written everything over here. Now what we need to do, simply taking this, simply we have to query this thing. So first we'll save this trigger first. So it is saying that unexpected token semicolon. Oh, sorry, we have to use the curly braces, then save this. Okay. Now I have written the usual code over here. Now what I'll be doing, simply after this for loop, what I will do, so I've written this for loop condition, this is fine. Now I need to work on the contact object. So how I can define, previously we have used the list. Now let us see that how we can do with the query also. We have seen that example by defining the list one variable, and with that list we have defined one particular field, and with that we have mapped that fields with, right? Opportunity name equals to account name, opportunity date equals to this date, system dot today. So that way we have defined the opportunity field. Now let us see that how we can define with the query. So we have started query also, so we'll take that also, list of contact, correct? So as we are working for the contact object, so I am defining this as an contact. There we have defined that ID of opportunity is associated to the account also, correct? We have seen that we have used that OPP dot account ID equals to AC dot ID, correct? So that was mapped, that account ID and opportunity ID was mapped. Why? Because in the opportunity object, there is a field of an account. So that's why we have used that account ID, correct? So now here also we need some ID to get mapped over here with the contact, right? So list of contact equals to, now I have to query over here. So how I'll query, same thing, same procedure. So select what will select ID from I'm not taking name, anything. I'm simply defining one query over here. Select ID from which object, as we are working on the contact. So we'll define the contact object. We have just used the ID over here. We just use the ID over here, but it is this ID is not getting mapped with the account. Correct? Please try to understand this, guys. What I am saying. See, as I am taking this ID over here, this ID is not defining any account. Correct? So I need to mention something over here so that this account should get mapped. Correct? So for that, what I can do, simply going below this, what I'll do over here, I'll create one set. Okay. Why set? Because this ID is unique, right? So I'm using now, you might be thinking that always I'm using this list and only. So in this scenario, we can see that how this set works. So now set I'm using. Why? Because I want to define the ID also. So I'm taking this as an ID, set of ID, because it is a unique ID, right? So for that reason, I'm using this set as an ID. Then AC ID, I'm defining this variable for that. And same thing we need to define. The list also we define same way, list and some object and then something variable, and then equals to new that again object and defining that thing. Same way we are doing for the set on also, but in this case we are using ID because we need to define the ID of that particular object. So we are defining here AC ID equals to new set ID brackets then semicolon. Now we have defined this particular ID for this account object, right? So AC ID, as that I mentioned, because that name, because we are working on the account object, so that's why I mentioned this as an AC ID, right? Now I want this AC ID should be there in the contact object. Why contact object? Because whenever we see, I told you that whenever we are opening that account, here you can see as in the account related list, it is the contact. Correct? Why it is showing? Because of this ID only. As this ID is there in that contact object. That's why this ID is there, because that record has selected this particular account as an Burlington Textile. If you open this Jack Rogers record in the context, there you can see it is associated to Burlington Textile. Here you can see if I suppose I'm going to this context and I'm opening this Rogers record, Jack Rogers. Okay, here you can see there is an account name as an Burlington Textile Corp. Is that clear? So that's why it is using that particular record ID. Is that clear now? Now what I'm doing in this code, I'm taking the list of contact and that which I've selected as a select ID from the contact. Now I have to mention something so that contact is associated to that particular record account ID, correct? So how I can mention, I have mentioned this account, right? Now, as I mentioned this account, I'll be using where account, and I'll use one keyword as an in over here, colon, and which variable I want this AC ID, right? So I'll copy this and paste it over here, correct? And I'll try to save this. It is still showing an error. So account ID, if I'm using instead of this, save. Now it is being saved. Why this account ID? Because that contact is having that account ID. So that's why it is taking that now, right? Account ID in AC ID. Why AC ID? Because there is an account ID. See, if I'm in the contacts and I'm clicking on new, and here you can see there is an account name. So if suppose it is choosing this Burlington Textile Corp, that means account name is coming. And as soon as this name is coming, that means that ID is also coming in that, right? So that's why I'm using this as an account ID. Now I'll try to save this. I'll save this. After saving this, what I want that delete this list of contact, right? Why to delete this? Because as I told you, if it is changing banking to chemical, it should get reflected over there. Is that clear? So what I'm doing over here, simply taking this list of contacts. So what I'll be doing, simply using this delete keyword over here, delete, what delete? DML operation we are using, right? So delete list con and semicolon. We, do you think this trigger will work now? No. Why? Because still this variable is just random only. We have not associated this AC ID to this AC, correct? Until and unless we are not defining this, how it will come to know that this is the accounts ID only, correct? See, please try to understand what I'm saying. See, I haven't defined anything. I am simply taking this. Just forgot about this line. If I'm not defining anything over here, how this contact will come to know that this variable is for the account only? I am defining randomly over here. I am defining this randomly over here. How this record will come to know that this is the account ID? Until and unless I am not mapping this account ID to this variable, it won't allow me to show me that whether this account is associated to that, this variable is associated to account. Are you getting my point? Should I explain this once again in some another way? Please tell me, guys, if you are not getting that this, and then I can explain you. Some are saying they can understand. Some are saying, should I repeat? Okay, so let me explain that once again. Okay, see, just forgot what I have written over here. I have simply written that set of ID and I have defined one variable as an AC ID, correct? And now what I'm doing, I'm using this new set ID. And I want to use that ID over here in this contact, but I can't use it. Why? Because this I don't know whether this AC ID is associated to this account ID, correct? Correct now? What I'm saying, I've defined this variable. I don't know whether this variable is associated to that account or not. So what I need to do, I need to check whether this variable is associated to this or not. So what I will do over here, I'll simply come over here, and what I'll do, simply taking this AC ID, which is over here. So I'll copy this, paste it over here, and I will add this variable into this variable, correct? So what I've done, AC ID dot add. Okay, now it is asking me to which element you want to add. So I want this AC, because why this AC? Because this AC is for the account, right? So I'll use this AC. And now in what I want in this AC ID, right? So I'm taking this as an ID dot ID. So here you can see AC dot add, AC dot ID, AC ID dot add AC ID, then semicolon, then save this. Now it will get saved. Now this is coming to some meaning, it is having some variable having some meaning now. Why? Because until and unless we are not mapping these two variables, then how it will come to know that this ACI ID is having the accounts ID only, correct na? So that's why I've mentioned this ACID dot add AC dot ID. Is that clear now? Now I can use that. Now I can use that over here. Sorry. Where account ID in colon which ID now? AC ID, correct? So copy that variable. Now save this. Now it is taking. Okay. Now it should run. I guess it should run. So save this. Now let's go to this as an accounts again. Now I'll let me change this to banking in the details. Here you can see if I'm going to industry, okay, and what I'm doing, industry, I'm doing as in banking and I'm saving this. I have to update this banking to chemical, right? So what I have to do, banking to chemical. So just click on this and click over here. Let me check that chemicals only there. Yes, chemicals. Then I am saving this record. It is saying that after update execution of after update causes system DML exception. Delete field. First exception on row 0 with ID. First error. Delete field. Okay. So line number 11 is showing some DML exception. Delete list con. Save this list con. Let me check with this variable. Where is the mistake over here? Something is wrong in this code. We have mentioned directly as an delete. Okay. API name of an account ID is to be checked. Okay. Let me check with that. Future. No, that is also fine. Update after update. Let me delete that previous. Let me make it as an inactive first, and then we'll try it once again. Is that clear? It should work, I guess. So let me close this. Uh, Let me go to the account once again and let me refresh this. Discard changes. Then let me go to the setup, Apex triggers. Let me refresh this page. Then after update event, right? So previously we have written the before update event. So where is it? It's still not showing. Refresh this. Which is active account. So let me click on this edit. Now let me make it this an active. Then save this. Okay. Now save this once again. Then let me go back to the account. It is inactive after update is working. Now let's go. Let's create new one instead of that. So account name, I'm taking this randomly. Okay. Then I'm defining some account number. No needed, not needed. Industry equals to banking. Then I'm saving this. And in that I have to create one contact over here. So I'll create one contact for this. I'm giving this some name over here. Then only this field is mandatory. So save this. So now there is one contact over here, right? Now what I'll do over here, Now what I'll do, I'll simply go to details, and in that details, I need to change this industry to chemicals. Let's try to save this. Now it got saved. Okay. So now let's go and check whether that related contact is deleted. So here you can see now it is working. See previously why it was not working, because of that previous trigger which was active over there, right? If you want that, I should show once again. Should I show this once again? Guys, please respond me if you didn't understand what I've done over here. See, if I'm going to this Burlington's record, you can see there are 3 records over here. Now let's try with this. Go to the details. If there is the industry, here you can see there is an industry as in banking, and let me save this banking to chemicals. Now I'll save this. So now for this only, for this record, it is giving an error. If I'm moving to this, discard these changes, contact accounts. If I'm creating one new record, which is suppose I'm creating one record as in Sandeep over here, okay, then I'm selecting one, which is there, accounts, right? Now click on new account name and Sandeep. Okay, then parent account is something over here. Okay, then I'm selecting this type as a prospect, industry as in banking, then rating as hot, and let me check this some more things over here. So it will be get saved. Now I'm saving this record, right? So now here you can see there is a Sandeep. Now let me create 2 contacts over here. I'm creating 2 contacts, Mr. Then money. Okay, and let me take this as an title, Salesforce developer. Okay, then lead source web, then something number. Okay, then I'm saving this record. Okay, so here you can see there is one record getting saved. Now let's go to the details. Let's change this banking to chemicals. Okay, now I'll try to save this record. Now let's check whether in the related context is there. So here you can see there is no context. I don't know what values it is having this in the Burlington textile, but you can see that it is working with the new record which we are creating, right? Everyone got this point? Please respond, guys, whether you get this point or not. As I can see, lots of yes answers are there. So now we have completed with this as in before, sorry, after update. Understood why we have taken this after update? Because we were working on the 2 particular objects, correct, which are having the relationships. And as I told you that if there is a relationship, so if suppose I'm working on one particular, so with respect to one object, some action should happen in another object. So in that case, I'll be using this as an after update event. Is that clear for everyone now? As I can see, lots of yes answers are there. So I hope everyone got this point now. So that was a very basic trigger which we have done over here. So now let's go to the correct. So we have seen that thing also. Now we will see the delete events, right? So we have seen before insert, before update, after insert, after update, right? Now we'll see before delete. So let's go quickly create some trigger more. Now what we'll be doing over here, we'll simply take the, as we worked a lot in the contact. Now let me take some contact object. Okay, so let's go into the coding part. Let's click on file, new. And after this, we'll see that how we can write the trigger with the handler. Okay, So first, let me write this with the basic trigger. So right now we are using the before delete, right? So let's me write this. See, these triggers are important, guys. In interview perspective, it is definitely an important part. If you are going for the developer, you are asking for the developer job, you should be able to know this basic trigger. They will be asking some basic trigger for the before insert or after insert, they might be asking. Okay, so you should be able to write some basic code for that. So that's why it is important. They won't ask you a synchronous process. They won't ask you to write the Apex class. They will definitely ask you for the freshers. They will definitely ask you how to write the triggers. What are the context variable? What are the different types of triggers, events, right? So you should know, you should be able to do this. So I'm writing quickly this trigger now. It is very simple. I'm simply taking that simple trigger now. I want a contact object. Then afterwards, we'll see the one with the handler how we can manage the things. Okay, so I want to work for the contact object, right? So I'll be working for the contact object. So contact, here you can see there is a contact submit. Okay, now triggered before delete event and on contact before insert it is showing, so I'll write the delete. Okay, now press enter over here. Now in this, what you'll be writing, simply writing this trigger before that for loop, then brackets, then for which object you are working, contact object. So write contact, then con variable, then this should become with the trigger dot old. Why I'm using this trigger dot old? Why I'm using this trigger dot old? See in this slide, here you can see if I'm using this before delete, you can't use trigger dot new, you can't use trigger dot new map, right? So I can't use this trigger dot new and trigger dot new map in the this version. So I'm using this trigger dot old, correct? So I'm checking this as an trigger dot old. So now let's check as an trigger dot old. So I've defined that. Now what I want, if I've not written the use case over here. So let me write the use case. Use case is if contact record is associated to the account object, then contact should not get deleted. Please understand this use case, guys. What I'm saying that if the contact record is associated to account object, then account record instead of object, I'll write account record, then contact should not get deleted. What does this means? If suppose I'm here and I'm in the contact object and I'm clicking on new, if I'm suppose I'm selecting this account name, something over here, any name over here, okay, if I'm choosing this one particular name, so that means it should not get deleted. If this field is populated, then it should not be able to delete that record. This is our scenario. So for that, we are mentioning this contact object and we are using this trigger.old. For this if condition, what I can mention over here? What I can mention over here with the con dot. Now what I can define, what field I can define over here? Account ID, right? Why? Because account ID, because it is using the account record, right? So that's why I'm using this account ID equals to, but our condition is that it should have some value, right? So what I'll be doing, simply I'm writing the not equals to, this is the not equals to operator, okay? Not equals to null. And I'm saving this. Now save this. Correct? Please understand this, guys. Not null means what? That field is not empty. It is having some value. If that field is having some value, that means it should not get deleted. Then I'll add some error over here. So I'm taking this con dot add error. Sorry, add error. Okay. And what I can add error over here in the single quote, I'll define the error text. Okay, so I'm defining you cannot delete this record as it is associated to concatenate plus uh, to which it is associated contact dot account which name, right? Account field name, right? Account dot name semicolon and save this. Correct? Why con? Because this is the variable for this contact dot account. Why account? Because account name it is associated, right? So I'm saving this. So now let's check whether it is working or not. On the contact object, I'll create one new record. I'll give some name, Mr. Some name over here. Suppose I'm giving this name, then something is there. Then what we need to define, mandatory one is the account name should not be blank. Account name should not be blank. So I'm selecting this Sandeep. Okay, then I'm saving this record. Okay, as this record gets saved, now let's try to delete this. So click on this drop down, click on delete, click on delete. So it is showing that you cannot delete this record as it is associated to null. It is showing null. Why? Account name it should take, right? Or else directly I'll write this as an account. Account. Okay, so I'll save this because that name I haven't mentioned. That's why. So now it will directly show me that I only value only. Is that clear? Is that clear for everyone? Guys, please respond. Okay, so yes, now we'll go and create the trigger with handler. Okay, so now I want the trigger with handler. So let's see, in the real time, whenever you work for the particular projects, you need to write that trigger with the handler only. You can't directly write this trigger in all the logics in particular trigger. It is not used in that case. Okay, so whatever the logic you are writing, that logic should be in the class, apex class. Okay, so now first let me take this as an apex trigger. First let me define as an after delete. So after delete, and I want to work for the account. Okay, then I'm click on submit. So here you can see we are working on the after of delete event. So I'm taking this as an after delete. Okay, so I'll keep this as it is. I won't make changes anyway, anything over here. Okay, if you want, then I'll write the same logic over here. Then I'll shift to apex class. Okay, with the handler. So first let me write the logics over here. Okay, what we used to do, simply we used to, my condition use case is that if suppose we have to be quick, guys, because lots of things I need to take. So use case is like if account record is deleted, then mail should be sent to the account name. See, the use case is whenever we delete the account record, that mail should be sent to that particular name of whose account was that. See, for that I need to create one field over here because in the account object there is no field with the email, right? So to send the mail to that person, I need to create one field over here. So what I'm doing over here, clicking on the edit object, I'll quickly create the field over here. So just let me go to the fields and relationship, and after that click on new. Then I'm selecting the data type as an email. Okay, then I'm clicking on the next. It is asking me for the field name, so I'm just giving this as an email. Then click on next. Okay, I am keeping that things as it is visible for everyone. Then click on next, then save this. Okay. So now one field is being created. So I'll refresh this page. Let me check whether that field is reflecting or not in this particular record. So click on new. Let me check that email is reflecting or not. So here you can see that field is coming now. Now let's create that scenario. Let's go to the arc. Now what I'm doing over here, simply taking that after delete event, right? So for that, I need to create some variables. So to send, whenever you have to send some variables, you need to define some particular uh, things. So how we can define that? So instead of this, what should we do? Okay, let me do one thing. I'll use that for loop. Then I'll write over here only. You will get confused if I'm directly writing in the handler. So what I'm doing here, I'm writing for loop, and for which object we are working on the account object, then account AC, then colon, then I need to define this trigger dot old, right? As we are working for the delete event, right? So I'll write the trigger dot old over here. Okay. Then after that semicolon, then enter, then save this. So I have written this for loop over here. Now I need to send some mail to the particular person. So how I can send? Simply I need to create one list. Okay. In that list, I need to create some keywords so that I have to send that particular person that mail. So for that, there are some keywords in this for the tree program. So what I'll be using, messaging, messaging dot. Now here you can see multiple options over here, correct? So with this multiple option, I want to send a single mail to that particular user, right? So I'm using the single. So here you can see there is a single email message over here. So just click it over there. Then one variable. So I'm creating one list of an email list. Okay, so email list variable equals to new list. Then same thing I need to copy. Sorry, copy, paste it over here, correct? Then brackets, then semicolon, then save this. Okay, now we have saved this record, particular thing. Now what I want, that email, when should be that email should be sent? When the email field is not empty, then only it should be sent. Then only the mail will be received to that particular user, right? So what I'll be doing over here, if condition I'll be using. So if AC dot email, it is not showing an email field. So what I'll be doing over here, simply going to this. Then I'll copy that API name, copy. Then again I'm coming back. So I'm pasting over here, field name, then equals to, not equals to, sorry, not equals to null, right? Same condition which we use for the delete option. Now, as it is of if loop, so if condition, so I'm pressing this and then save. So I put one condition over here, email field should not be null, right? So I have done this thing. Now what I'll do, I'll create, see, I can directly take this variable, right? As you know that whenever we are creating some list, we can directly take this variable and simply define that variable. So what I can do over here, simply taking that messaging dot single email message. So for before that, let me define this thing in this comment, create a new record. Okay, create a new email, create a new email over here. So how you can create a new email over here? Taking this variable messaging dot single email message equals to, now I'll create one variable as a mail equals to new messaging, new, with this, copy this. Now this is little bit complicated. Please for that, please pay attention. Okay. So then semicolon, then save this. Okay. So one variable is created. Now I can define the fields for that, right? So here you can see there is a mail. I've created one variable over here. Now step one is over here. We have created one new email variable over here, correct? Now we have to go for the step two. Step two. In that step two, we have to set a list of people who should receive the email. See, list of people who should who should receive this mail. Correct. We have to create the recipient, we have to create one body, and then we have to create to whom to send, right? So these are the basic three things which you do whenever you need to send the mail to that particular person. Same thing we are doing over here. So say step two, list of people who should receive this mail. Correct. Then press enter. Then in that, what we need to create, list, and I'm creating string as in so that I can define the text for that string. Then I'm creating one send to variable, to whom to send, right? So I'm creating one variable send to equals to new, again list, then again the string, correct? So that I can use this send to variable to whom to send, right? So I can use this and then give semicolon, then save this. So I've saved this, right? Correct. Till here everything is clear, right? Now what I'll do, I'll simply add send to, this send to is there, right? So with this send to dot, I'll add this email, add to which variable I will add, this AC variable is having some email field, right? To that particular email it should get sent. So correct. So I need to use that AC variable only, AC dot email, sorry, AC dot email, right? Underscore C. Now semicolon, save this. It's getting saved, saving, still saving. So here you can see it is asking to whom to send, right? So send to add. What I'm adding, this email field is I'm adding over here. This email field I'm adding over here. Only that email field should get receive that particular mail, right? If you are not understanding, then please pay attention over here. After completing this code, I'll explain you whole code. Okay, is that clear? So what I'm doing, send to add AC dot email underscore C. After that, I'll press enter over here. So now I have added the to whom to send, right? Now, so how I have defined this, so because I need to send this email. So what I'm doing, I'm simply using this variable. So I can define this send to now. So I'm taking this mail, right? I'm taking this mail dot set to address, right? Set to address, right? Now I have defined this set to address. Now set to address means what? To whom to send, correct? To whom to send. So we have defined one variable send to. In that send to, it is added as an email ID, correct? So that's why I'm using this. So what I'll do over here, simply directly taking this send to into this. So I'm pressing this and saving this over here. Now semicolon. If you are not able to understand this, don't worry. I'll explain you each and every term over here. So now I'm using this send to. Okay. After saving this variable to the send to, now what I need to do, I need to define some particular subject for that, right? So what I'll do, mail dot subject, right? Sorry, I need to use set. So for the suggestion dot set subject, there you can see there is a set subject. So select set subject. Now it is asking for the parameter over here. So what I'm doing, yeah, I'll simply write some parameter that account your account is successfully fully deleted. Okay. So I mentioned that subject over here, then save this. So, so I have saved the subject also. Now I need to define the body, correct? So as you defined this set to, now I need to define the body. So how I can define that body? Mail. Sorry for that. I have to define particular things for that. What I do, string dot body. Sorry, not dot, string body. I need to define, right? Body equals to, in the single quotes I'll write particular body, right? So I'll define this in the dear customer. Okay, then I'm providing the semicolon and then save this. Okay, now I've defined particular body. With respect to that body, what I'll do, I'll take that body, sorry, body. Okay, then add, sorry, body plus equals to, then semicolon, the account, the account, correct, hyphen, then enter, then I'll add some name over here, AC dot whose name. I need to add the user's name, account username. So I'm using that name over here, AC dot name, correct. Now again I'll use the add sign, then I'll take this, the single quotes was, instead of this what I'll do, space comma was successfully. I'm writing just simple message. I don't want to write a whole code, whole sentence over there and to make it complicated. So I'm saving this. Simply I'm writing the simple body over here. So it is saying that missing missing semicolon at AC dot name, and expression cannot be a statement. So AC dot name. Okay. And save this. Okay. Now we have completed this. Now we have written these things, right? Now we need to set this body also for that. So what I'll do is I've used the simple term to define this body, right? So I need to define this thing. So how I can define this, mail dot set. Now I need to set the body also, right? Mail dot set. Now I need to define the body, correct? So set how we can define the body. Here you can see there is a HTML body. So just click it over there. So set HTML body, right? So I need to define one variable. Which variable I will define? I'll define this body variable. Copy this and paste it over here. Okay, then semicolon, then save this. So now it has taken whatever the body which we have written. See, we have to define some variable. In that variable, we need to store all these things, all this text. And then for that, we need to take some variable and we can define it over here. instead of doing these things, you can directly write these things in this particular bracket, but it will look little bit complicated. So that's why what I'm doing, simply I'm defining one variable, and with that variable I'm storing some values into it, correct? And then directly taking that variable and setting to that particular keywords, right? Then set body, I've said that, right? Now enter over here. Now what I'll do, add something. So add your your email ID. You have to add your email ID to check whether that mail is received or not. Okay. So what I'm doing over here, first, let me check. So how I can check this? I need to add some. This I have used barely this mail, right? So I need to add this mail into this email list, right? So I'll use this email list. I'll use this email list, paste it over here, dot add. Now I need to add that element. So which element I'll be adding? I'll be adding this mail into that, right? So I'm using this element over here, then semicolon, then save this. Let me check with this code whether it is running or not. Then we'll move to the handler part. Okay. Now I'm using this. Now I'll use some particular condition. Okay. So I'm using this if brackets. Okay. Now I want to check that size is greater than 0. It should be greater than 0, right? So what I'll do over here, email list variable. So I'll use that email list, copy this email list, paste it over here, is greater than, sorry, dot size. Okay, size is greater than 0. It should be greater than 0, right? Then only that mail should be received, right? Then press curly brackets, then messaging email list. Again, copy this and then paste it over here, then save. Okay, now it is saying that method does not exist or incorrect signature, void from the type after delete. If email list dot size is greater than 0, if we comment out this thing, let me check what is happening. Save this. So at least this error should go. Okay, so now this is gone. Now what I can write in this case, messaging dot email list, messaging dot email list. Why it is not taking? Save. Till throw again an error. Method does not exist or incorrect signature, void messaging signature, void current signature. Then again some issue in this. What I can do over here, then in the chemicals I need to add something. Message, I need to add that message. Let me erase this thing. And then is there any keyword to send to person? Dot send email. Send email. Instead of this, I'll use this send email, and then I need to define this. Let me check whether it is taking or not. Then curly brackets, semicolon, then save this. We'll save. Now it is gone. Now let me check whether this is working or not. So save this. Now what I'll do, I'll simply go to the account. Okay, after going to this account, let me create one record over here. New. Okay, I'm creating this as a money. Okay, then I'm simply selecting any type over here, industry anywhere. chemicals. Okay. Now let me write some mail ID over here. So, okay. Now let me save this. Okay. Now it got saved. Now let me delete this record. As I've set it the email ID. Now let me delete this. So delete this. Let me check whether a mail is received or not to me. So let me click over here. Then go to the Gmail. Then inbox. It is not coming. So let me check with the spam. Is so showing 2. So here you can see it is the mail is received 7:32. That dear customer, the account money was deleted. So I've used that name, right? So it is showing me that money was successfully deleted, right? Now let me write this code in the handler, and then I'll explain, or I should explain over here, then I should copy that into the handler. Tell me one thing, guys, quickly. I want the response over here. Should I explain it over here or should I explain it in the handler? In handler. Okay, fine. So we'll go quickly on the handler, then we'll try to understand this code. Okay, so handler is nothing but the class. So we have to write the class. So Apex class I'm taking. Now, whatever the name which we are given over here, same thing we have to use this name so we can identify easily. So I'm using after delete handler. I'm simply writing the extra word over here as an handler. Okay, so I can identify this. So this is the handler for this particular trigger. So I'm writing this. Okay, correct. So here you can see there is a class. So again, what I'll do, I'll simply define one method over here. So public static void. Okay, and public static void I need to define, right? So I'm defining one method over here, my method. Then I'm taking this, then I'm creating one list over here, list of what? Account, as we are working on the account object. Now it is asking me one variable. So what I'll do, I'll simply go over here. Now I'll copy whole things from here. Whatever I've written over here logic, I'll just cut from here. Okay. So as I've cutted this, now what I'll do, I'll simply go press enter, then paste it over here. Okay. Then I've pasted. Now I'll create one variable. Now I will create one variable. How I can create now this variable? Simply list AC. Then save this. Now it is showing me error over here. Invalid loop variable expected as object was account. So as I'm using this list of AC, list AC, save this. Now again, I'm getting an error. Still I'm getting an error. Now what I can use instead of this? Invalid loop variable type expected as object was account. As we are using this trigger.old map, now what I'll do, I'll copy this variable and I'll paste it over here and save this. Okay, now it is gone. Now it is gone, right? Now let me go to this after delete event. As I'm going to this after delete event, see guys, what I've done, simply I've defined one variable as a list of AC, and I've taken that whatever the things which I was written over here from that first line, I've directly cut it from that and I pasted over here. Okay, as I've pasted over here, here you can see public static void method. So I've defined that variable instead of that defining one particular trigger dot new. I have removed that and I have pasted this variable over here, right? Now what I'll do in this after trigger event, I'll simply go over here. What I have to do for that, I have to link these two, trigger and apex. How can I link this? I'll simply copy this class name. But before that, what I'll do, I'll write the context variable. So what is context variable? If bracket trigger dot is insert. Okay, if trigger dot is insert, then semicolon, then curly brackets, then again if, sorry, not is insert, is after, right? So we'll write the after, because this is the after delete event, right? So trigger dot is after. I'm writing the context variables over here. If no, I've written if trigger dot is delete, right? So I'll write the delete. Then again giving the bracket curly braces over here. Now this is fine. Now I'll save this. Now I want to link this trigger and class. How I can link that? So simply going to this, I'll copy this class name. I'll paste it over here. Then I'll again go to this and I'll copy this method, and I'll paste it over here. Dot v. Okay. So now I've pasted over here. Now I'll give brackets. In this bracket, now I'll define that trigger dot old. Is that clear? Now that save. Now semicolon, sorry, semicolon, and save this. So in this way, you have to write this trigger with handler. So in this way, you will write this trigger with handler. Is that clear for everyone? Is that clear for everyone? Now I will explain you the code. After explaining this code, I'll show you that how I've linked that code. Simply, I've done nothing. I've pasted from there and I've copied that from there and I pasted over. That's it. Now let us try to understand this code over here.
Recording in progress.
Particular field. So I'm using the list of AC. So with the AC, I'm defining that mail should not be null. Then only that mail should be, then only that mail will be sent to that particular user, right? So I'm doing that thing only, ac.email, not null. So that means that email field is not empty. Then again, what I want to do, I want to define some fields for that. So how I can define that? For that, I'm defining one mail with this same thing as we use for the list of account. Then we create one variable. Then again, we create one variable to define the fields. So account dot the AC equals to new account, and then we can define with that variable as a field. Correct? So same thing we are doing here, messaging dot single email message, same thing. Then we defined one mail as a variable. Now I have taken this thing. Now again here you can see, now I have to send the email to particular user. To whom to send? There's the email which is the account is having that email ID, right? Whatever the email ID is there in that particular place as a null. So what I'm doing, I'm creating the simple list of string, and that I'm using the send to whom to send that particular email ID, correct? So what I'm doing, in the send to, I'm adding this ac.email. Whatever the email ID is there in this, so it should get into this send to, correct? So now in the mail, I can define that field as an set to address. So set to address is the keyword. Automatically you can find after defining this variable dot set to address, to whom to send. So we have defined that email ID in this send to, right? So that's why we are using this send to over here, correct? Then we need to define the subject. So again, we have defined that, taken that mail. Then I've used that set subject over here. Then I'm simply taking the set account is successfully deleted. I'm just giving the subject name for that. So I directly define the subject. I'm not using this any variable. Then I'm storing that logic in that, nothing I'm doing like that, right? So I've directly set the subject. Now for the body, I need to define, right? So body, I can't take directly and define that body. So what for that I'm doing, one variable I'm defining over here. So string body, I'm saying that dear customer, body, here you can see body, I'm adding some values for that. With this dear customer, it is saying that in the add-on concatenating. So here you can see the account, and it is using ac dot name. Why ac dot name? The record's name which is there. So ac dot name. Why ac? Because the account variable we have defined as an ac, and we are using the name as a field over here, correct? Was successfully deleted. It is defining that, correct? Now for that body also there is some keyword. So here you can see mail dot set html body I am using, and I am storing these bodies where whatever the value it is having with the body, I am storing that in the particular brackets over here. So whatever the things are there in the body, it will get come into this set html body, correct? Now what I'm doing, as I have defined all these things in this particular mail, so this particular mail is associated to this variable as an email list, correct? So I need to add this mail into this email list. So I have done simply that thing only over here, correct? Till here everything is clear. Now I am defining one condition. What condition I want? That email size should be greater than 0, correct? This email size should be greater than 0, then only that mail should be received to that particular user, correct? So what I'm doing, simply messaging dot send email and email list. So this send email is, after that, if condition is satisfied, then only that mail should be sent to that email list, correct? So I'm using messaging dot send email to that email list over here. Is that clear? Everyone got this point? Everyone got this point? Please answer, guys. Yes, yes, yes. So this is the thing which you can do with the after delete event. Okay. So that is the thing. I can see one or two only no is there. If you didn't get this point, then you can simply go to the recordings. You can easily get these things. Okay. So this was little bit complicated, I know, but I have taken purposely for, because I want to show this handler to get run over here. Okay. Now we have completed with this. Now we have to go for the asynchronous process over here. Okay. So let me go to the slides if I'm having something with that asynchronous process. Text testing, testing. We have to check that testing also. Then future method. So there are asynchronous process. In the asynchronous process, we can find the future method, batch method, schedulable, and queuable. These four things are in the asynchronous. Now, what is the difference between the synchronous and asynchronous? Please try to understand this, guys. Suppose if you are understanding this basic part of it, then you will be easily able to think about that how this asynchronous is getting run. So let me explain you that in the better way. Actually, the time is limited. I need to complete at least one or two part of it. Okay, so if suppose I am what I'm doing, I'm simply taking an example of mine only. So what I'm doing, simply woke up early, and then what I'm doing after woke up early, what I'll be doing, I'll be taking path. I'm just doing shortcut. Okay, I'm not defining each and every term of what I am taking, what I'm doing in the early morning. Okay, bath, breakfast. Now what happened, my bike got damaged. Okay, so I need to do some servicing also. So I'm doing servicing. Okay, then after that, I need to go to office. Okay, now what is happening over here? Don't bother about this spelling mistakes. Okay, so what I'm doing over here, so this time is consuming something 15 minutes, because after woke up, let's take in 15 minutes, and then I'm for bath I'm taking 20 minutes. Then if I'm taking a breakfast for 15 minutes, then I'm for servicing I'll need a 3 hours over here, correct? So I'm just taking this 3 hours, and office I'll reach somewhat time, right? Like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So not at 10 o'clock, so early 11 o'clock. So it is consuming some time for me, correct? So like here 3 hours, then 15, 20. This is fine. This I can do this thing, right? And then after 3 hours, I am moving to office. But what I'm doing over here, if this runs in the synchronously, so this is happening in the procedure only, in step by step. Okay, synchronously. So this is happening step by step. I'm doing wasting 15 minutes, then 20 minutes, 15 minutes, then 3 hours, and then I'm reaching at office at 11. If suppose I'm talking about the asynchronous process. If I'm talking about the synchronous process, what is happening over here? Simply, I'm taking all this part over here. Okay. Now, what I'm doing over here in this case, copy and paste it over here. Now, in when I'm working on the asynchronous process, what is happening over here? Simply see. Uh, so what I'm doing over here? Simply, I'm doing this 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and 15 minutes over here. Till that time it is fine. Now what I'll do, I'll take a cab, I'll go to the servicing center. Okay, I'll give my bike to the servicing center, and what I'll do, I'll take a cab. Okay, now as I'm taking the cab, so I don't have to waste my time 3 hours over there, right? So what I'm doing over here, I'm directly skipping this part, and I am directly moving to this part. Okay, so what I have done simply going to the servicing center. I have given my bike. I'm not standing over there. I'm simply taking the cab, and I'm directly moving to the office. So my these 3 hours are getting saved. So that means I've skipped these 3 hours, and I'm directly moving to the office. So that means it is running into the single thread, and this is running separately, right? So this is one thread, and this is the another thread. So the my time is getting saved over here. Now this was a generic example, but in real time, whenever you work, what happens over there? See, you are running particular codes, right? If you are running that particular code, you might have seen that. Let me show you in the code only. If I am clicking on file and open, we have written one class, right? Which was a generic car. So to call this method, what we have done, simply taking this class name, we defined one variable, one object, right? So copy, paste it over here. Sorry, copy this, then paste it over here. Then we have defined one car object. So car equals to new, then again pasting this, then define this variable, then semicolon, then press enter, then system dot debug debug. Okay, then brackets. Then what I need to debug? This car, right? So I'm simply defining this debug. Why? Because this is not the non-static method, right? So I'm taking this, save this, right? Now I've saved this. Now to call these different methods over here, here you can see void do start, void do stop, void play music is there, right? So what I'm doing over here, simply putting this over here with this car object. What I'll do, copy this car, paste it. Then I'll copy this method dot to call that method, right? So v, and then brackets, then semicolon, then save this. Okay, then again I am copying the same thing over here and pasting over there. So now I'll copy this another method, copy and pasting over here. Okay, now if I'm trying to execute this code, it is saying that line 1, column 18, anonymous constructor. Okay, constructor values also need to be defined. Okay, it is complicated now. So color I'll define as in red, then comma, then I'm defining the model, which is a string. So I'm taking the Volvo, Volvo V7. Then there is a value called height 500, 200, comma, then 500, comma, then weight is given, power. Suppose power is 10, then I'm giving randomly. Okay, or any number I have to give, just give. I don't want to take it that much. Okay, now I am trying to execute. Now it will execute. Okay, so it will give some values over here. Now if I'm going to this logs, here you can see at the 7:53 one thread is running, right? So it is calling these two methods. Let me clear this log so you will be understanding better way. uh debug only here. Okay, now I've cleared this. Now I'll run it again. Okay, where it is gone. That was closed. Why? 54 class generic car. Again, I have to define that things. Why? Where is gone? Where is that gone? I don't understand. There is no tab of that. No worries. I'll quickly define that. Simply taking that variable once again, copy, paste it over here. Then again defining one variable as a car, then equals to, then new, then again pasting over here, then brackets, then I need to define some red, then I'm defining some field as in the single quotes, I'll define the Volvo V7, then comma. Okay, then after that there is a height, right? So height is 200, comma, then weight is 500, suppose, comma, then power is 10, then comma, then 20, anything I'm giving randomly. Okay, then after that semicolon, then enter. Then I'm using this variable to print, right? So system dot debug. Now it is asking me variable, so I'm pasting. Now I'll call the method. So again pasting that variable dot do start, right? So which was that do start method. So copy this, paste it over here, then copy, then semicolon. Then again I'll paste whole this thing, copy, paste it over here, and another method is do stop, right? So copy this and paste it over here, right? So I'm saving this. Now what is happening? This code will run synchronously. This code will run synchronously. Whatever I am calling over here, I'll go to the one log. Here you can see in that particular log, it is running, right? So now I am trying to explain you the future method. Okay, we are using this future method. What does this future method do? See, how many methods we are writing. We are it will run execute step by step. It will execute this in one particular thread only. Here this is one thread, so in this one thread it is running whole code, right? I mean, till here, as we are calling these two methods only, we are not calling this two method, just forget about that. What I'm doing, I'm just running one time and it is showing that in one thread these two methods are getting run. Correct? Is that clear? Here you can, I just call that two methods only. Correct? So it is getting run and it is giving me the some output over there. As I'm clicking on the query, as I'm clicked over here you can see the debug only. It is printing is running Volvo V7 and stopped Volvo V7, right? And whatever the values which I've given over here. So it is running one particular thread. Now what I want, this method should run separately and this method should run separately. See why we are using this future method. If we want to run these methods in different threads to save some time, then we will be using this future method. Is that clear for everyone? So I want this method should run separately. So what I can do, I can simply use the annotation over here. Which annotation? @future. So I've used this annotation as in future. Is that clear? As I've given this method as in future and I'm trying to save this. Now it is saying that problem method must be declared as static. Sorry. So I need to define this as a static. And one more thing to note over here, whenever you define the method, if you want to run it in separate thread, then that method should be static only. Then only it will take that as in future. Okay. Is that clear? Now again, I need to define here as a static. So save this. So whenever I need to use this annotation as an @future, so that case only I can run that. Is that clear? Then this cannot be referenced at a static referenced in the static context. This cannot be run as a static context. Public static void do stop. Save. Okay. Now I'll try to run this. Now I'll try to run this. Execute. Line 5 column. Okay, I need to. Ah, okay. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll simply erase this because I don't want this. I just want to show you how the methods are getting executed, right? So just copy this and I'm just making this as a comment out. Okay, star mark and slash. Okay, save this now. Now no need of writing these things. Simply I need to define particular method with class, right? So I'll just copy this, paste it over here, then dot method name. Something is going wrong. Semicolon. I have to write a new code and I have that no, I'm not having that much of time to run these things. Okay. So time is up. I can't write the new code for that. I am not having the existing code. Okay, so we'll see this thing tomorrow. This was not working because I have created some constructors over there and methods over there, and I'm passing some values. So that is fine. I'll show you these things asynchronous process. So tomorrow we are going to see the asynchronous with a future batch, and then we are going to see some LWC part also. Okay, so please be there. Tomorrow is our last session. As we are not having that much of time, so that's why I'm not typing that code. I can write that one new class and method, and then I can simply define you that how asynchronously it is getting run. But due to lag of time, so we have to stop over here. We'll see. We'll start with the future, then we'll complete the batch, and then we'll complete the some LWC part of it. Okay, some people were asking about the LWC, so we'll see that part also. Okay, so I hope everyone is getting my point. If I need to write that, the time will get exceeded over here. So let's see it by tomorrow. Okay, maximum topics will be covering by tomorrow. Whatever the topics are there in 1 hour, I'll keep for the LWC, and 1 hour I'll keep for the whatever the remaining topics is there. Okay. So if I complete this future and batch, then I'll take the schedule if it is necessary. Then I'll take this 3, or I'll take the test class. So in according to this, I'll write the. I'll take 3 different codes, and then I'll last 1 hour I'll take the LWC. Is that clear? So please be there, everyone, on time. Yeah, that is mandatory. Use the static methods only. Then only we can execute that code. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Good response from everyone. Thank you, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow. So tomorrow is our last session. Okay.
Recording
So
stopped.
please be there. Last session means the live session are getting over, but mentoring sessions will be there. Okay. Is that clear for everyone? So thank you, everyone. And please do practice on the regular basis, guys. This will help you to get the jobs and all. Okay. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.